Hope you're having a lovely time today. So if you caught my last stream, I played X-Men 3, the official game on Game Boy Advance. Some of my friends in the chat were a little bit disappointed at the gameplay. I was a little bit disappointed at the character selection. So in an effort to correct this, or to, explore some of the other X-Men games that are out there, especially in the pre-movie era of the 90s, I'm going to play a little selection of games today, 4 in total. One from Software Creations, two from the Sega line of X-Men Sega-published games, and one from the Game Boy Color era made in Japan, so that's interesting. That's alright, Gibbon. Good to see you here. Even if you don't chat much, that's alright. Gibbon's going to be lurking. Okay, so first on the docket today is, this is from the So there's an infamous early NES X-Men game published by LJN. I'm not playing that today. Everyone knows how bad that is. Instead, I'm going to be playing this. This is Spider-Man and X-Men in Arcade's Revenge. Arcade is the name of a villain, which is a little confusing when you're talking about video games. But yeah, Software Creations here in 1992 released 4 different versions of this game. I'm going to try out all 4 of them actually in a row, and it shouldn't take too long. But we'll start with the Mega Drive version. Although Software Creations is responsible for all of them, they actually have pretty separate dev teams between them. A little bit of overlap. I think Gavin Eagleton programmed on both the Sega versions, but the publishing duties were split up actually. So the 2 Sega versions were published by Flying Edge. Yeah, we saw their logo earlier. Whereas the Nintendo versions was LJN again. So this is our summary of the plot. Spider-Man swinging randomly through New York when suddenly, I think the implication is that Gambit was kidnapped by somebody that Spider-Man recognizes as being Arcade. Yes, Tony. Hello, Tony. Good to see you. Spider-Man and the X-Men is the name of this game in Arcade's Revenge. I don't know if there are other Spider-Man, X-Men games. You sometimes see that kind of crossover. Nowadays we think of the X-Men as being quite separate because of the movie licensing stuff and the fact that that licensing split fed back into the comics universe, and they started cutting the mutants out of stuff, bringing things in line with the movie universe in order for brand synergy and all that stuff. But back in this day it was all very integrated. Spider-Man and the X-Men. What second billing, says Tony. The idea of this game is you play as Spider-Man in the first stage, and then after that you choose which of the X-Men you play as, and they all have their own stages. I noticed the in-game music is actually quite low in volume, so I'm going to turn it up because we want to enjoy that. If you know anything about Software Creations, they've actually got some famous and prolific British composers of the 80s and 90s on board with some of these games. So in this example, this is the Mega Drive version. Tony Williams was responsible for a lot of Software Creations Mega Drive soundtracks through his company pseudonym Sound Images. And you'll see his name pop up a lot. But the point is, this level takes a little while, and I went through and completed it beforehand so we could get to the bit where we play as the X-Men, because Spider-Man is cool and all, and he has this web swinging ability, which is actually kind of interesting given the games I had played earlier this year with Umihara Kawase related stuff, being Bionic Commando, Forza Te Amor, that sort of thing. So maybe I'll check out Spider-Man's web swinging abilities a bit more in some of the other ports, but I want to fast track getting to the X-Men stages And so here's the selection: Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, and Gambit. And they all have their own style of gameplay and separate levels that they play through. I want to focus on the female heroes, since they were lacking in the movie tie-in game that I played last time. So yeah, we'll go with Storm first, and with bonus points because she's a person of color, which is relatively rare as a video game protagonist. So Aurora Munro of the X-Men, she has control over manifestations of weather. For example, she can create bolts of lightning or cause whirlwinds to appear around her. She's also in the comics and later movies consistently capable of flight. So how is that going to work in a video game, you ask? Well, let's find out. Get ready, Storm. What situation have they put Storm in to be playable? That's right, completely underwater. Storm gets the swimming levels. Always, fraught in a video game. Not well liked usually. But we're going to break open this clam and get a whirlwind. Excuse the noise. One cool thing you'll notice, hello, is that whenever you attack, say, these fish enemies or the obstacles around the level... Oh, what happened there? I ran out of health, I think. Okay. Do I have limited lives? I'm not sure, actually. Yeah, so you hit the fish, you hit these, things that are around. In this case, it's kind of a valve keeping the water in, and when you break it, the water level goes up. And yeah, when you hit it, a little pow effect comes out, which is a cute little comic touch. A bit like when they adapted Batman to the TV in the 60s, they included pow biff sound effects on screen for impacts. So the way Storm works in these levels is a lot like Mario 64, actually. The bubbles at the top of the screen drop, representing my breath as I swim, but they also form my health as I get hurt. And when you surface, it all gets completely restored, much like Mario getting his health back when you surface in Mario 64. Okay, we actually need to... Oh, okay, that's bad. Here's the surface, good. I broke the valve down there, which raised the water level a bit. Oops, I've accidentally just used my whirlwind power, which I got from the clam. Wasting it, but oh well. It was good that we didn't break this before, actually, because it gave me a chance to surface for air before I raised the water again. Now, just to catch up on Tony's chat here, what do the X-Men think about heroes who got their powers not from genes? Well, I don't know. My acquaintance with the X-Men universe has mostly been through the movies. And they don't have any other kind of superpowered individuals, with the exception, I think, of Dark Phoenix, the most recent X-Men film, which has aliens, and I guess Deadpool 2 as well, where they have mutates, and Deadpool 1 actually, in addition. And mutates are people who have gained powers. I think it's established as being from their genetics as well in there, but it's triggered by an external stimulus in that case. But he still gets to, Colossus tries to recruit him to the X-Men, and they have their own stuff happening. Oh yeah, and come to think of it, some of Deadpool's X-Force recruits in the second film aren't necessarily mutants. Most of them are, except for the Mojo World guy, or maybe he is too, who knows? We don't spend too long getting to know him. Now, I believe I have to backtrack to find an additional valve, because I think I missed one. Yeah, here it is. But now we're getting very low on air. If I can rush back without getting lasered or electrified. Come on. Oh no, that's bad. Come on. Yeah, we died. Oops. Tony says, maybe they hate Spider-Man. Well, I'll just load my state there, actually. Spider-Man is classed in the same type of power origin thing as Deadpool. He's a mutate because his genetic makeup was altered by the spider bite that caused him to gain his powers. So he became a mutate. I think I read somewhere that at some point in the comics they tried to claim that Peter Parker was a mutant all along or something, but I'm not sure about that. Oh, this is not good. I should actually load the state before I raise that level, just to give myself the best chance of getting back to air after we get through this. Oops, my stream previews just crashed. Sorry, distracted me a bit there. Tony says, yes, I am quite a prolific Mega Drive composer. No, this is Tony Williams. Is your last name Williams? It could be, who knows. Alright. Okay. My setup is restored. Now, something released like a mine over here, I don't know. Yeah, it just popped out of nowhere, that's a bit rude. You also gotta watch out when you... Oh, okay. So that did a lot of damage. When you break one of the valves, the debris and the explosion can damage you as well. Was it my cat that made the noise before? That was actually my spouse returning home from a walk. Oops, it's too close again. Ah, seriously? This is not good. I made some bad choices in this level. Maybe I'm better off starting from the start. Making some better decisions. Yeah, Mario 64 water logic, indeed, indeed. I always wondered if your entire health regenerating when you breathe was an oversight. You know what? It feels like it might be. The whole Mario 64 game feels like a... You know, it's a DK Vine meme to say that it's a glorified tech demo, but... yeah, it kind of is. Just like Bubsy 3D is. But you know, it's fine. Tony reacting to the death scream. Is it too loud? I could turn down the game audio if you like. But the music, I think, is important to note given the people involved for each of these games that I'm playing today. Alright, I can take that hit because the air level is just up here and I can get it all back. Oh yeah, the one regular dude who joined the X-Force. I liked that gag, says Tony. Yeah, that's a really funny joke. Deadpool 2 has some great humor in it. Much more to my liking than Deadpool 1's humor. I think some backtracking might be required because the water level is not going to go high enough to reach that extra valve over there. Tony says, Trixie played it the first time this year. I think my girlfriend thought it was jank. Mario 64, that is? Yes, it is incredibly jank. I really do not understand people who say it's so perfect and well designed and stuff. It's like, seriously? Okay. It's like, you know, backwards long jumps are a glitch, right? Anyway, it's not too loud. I just think it's hilariously overdramatic. Well, fair enough. I agree. Uh-oh. So now that we've actually raised the other level, we don't have a water pocket over here, or an air pocket rather, Echo the Dolphin style. And I hope I haven't just messed myself up, and I have. But what I can do is go back, I'll break through this door, I'll find the air, find the surface. Maybe I should be using my special powers. I haven't even tested the third one, the little starburst. Deadpool 2 had some really heartwarming moments, says Tony. Disclaimer, since this is a family-friendly stream, Deadpool and Deadpool 2 are not family-friendly movies, but I agree with you. Deadpool 2 had a lot that I felt was lacking out from the first one. You know, as well as not being directed by human scum, to return to a theme that I established in the last X-Men stream. Brett Ratner, Joss Whedon, both scum. I didn't mention Bryan Singer because I hadn't looked into it, but having done a bit of research and seen finished rewatching all the movies now, I can confirm that yes, Bryan Singer is human scum. Oh boy. She's getting her air back real quick. Enough to almost outpace the damage there. But we'll have to quickly break this. Okay, I'll use my thing now. Go! Okay, so the little starburst, it sent out more powerful projectiles to the sides. That was fun. The torpedo, or the tornado... oh gosh. The tornado icon does that. What does that do, actually? Was it stopping... yeah, it was stopping the projectiles from the squid. That's pretty helpful. And it'll let me zap it and then rush over here for a quick breath. Woo! Who knew Storm was invincible if she could only breathe? Backwards wall jumping is a glitch? Miyamoto, what a hack. Yes, Tony's words. It's like how Pokemon Red and Blue just accidentally works. Ow, ow, ow. Jeez Louise. Pokemon Red and Blue. Tony says, terrible game, least favorite Pokemon game. Yeah, like you say, it's impressive what it is for what platform it's on. But it is pretty hard to return to with how primitive it is. Okay. Ow, ow. Run out of special attacks, but I have enough health to tank all these fish while restoring my health through some nice, lovely breaths up here. Ow, what is that thing? One of Arcade's robots or something? I think I'm destroying its projectiles, but I can't destroy it for some reason. But that's okay, we've got all our health back now. We can just swim past it. Are you kidding? Maybe this is a boss? It's pretty unintimidating for a boss. Look at it. It's just a little pinwheel. Boom! And there we go. I don't know if Storm is particularly known for her swimming ability. I don't recall seeing her in that context too often. She has completely control over weather. Does that extend to underwater weather? Is that a thing? Anyway, what's the time? I think what I'm going to do now, because I didn't want to spend all my time on the Mega Drive version, there's other versions to play. So what we're going to do is, now that I've done the first Storm level, there's one more. Each of the X-Men there has 2 of their own levels. But what I'm going to do is show you a different version of the game now. So we'll just swap over. And I'll restart this. Hold on, sorry, I gotta change the size of the screen so I can see my own setup easier. That shouldn't affect the output too much. Cool. All right, so here's the Game Gear version, which I have applied a hack to, thanks to smspower.org. There's a lot of Game Gear to Master System conversion hacks to make them playable with a larger view screen. This hack was by BCN Able76, and in the notes for the hack on that website, it talks about how the game was originally developed with the Master System in mind, so it works particularly well before being ported to the Game Gear. The 2 systems had a lot of ports like that. Just adjusting my layout here. Wanted to show off Storm, and Shard is viewable on the right side of the screen. That's a game that I'll get to later. But the left side of my layout there has the box art for this game, Spider-Man and the X-Men in Arcade's Revenge. Make it actually playable. Well, we'll see. So yeah, I think they did a really good job actually converting from Mega Drive to Game Gear here. A lot of these interstitials and cutscenes are replicated quite well, despite the going from 16 to 8-bit and losing a lot of colors and stuff like that. It still looks pretty similar. And since I brought up the musician before, I'll note that the person in charge of music for this Game Gear version of the game was Alistair Brimble, who's another very well-known name in British video game composing. Very prolific. I didn't write down any of the stuff that he's done, but if you look around from that scene, starting from the 80s computers scene, going further to this era, yeah, he's all over it. So this is how Spider-Man looks and plays in the Game Gear version, which again I've converted to the Master System version. It looks good for the system, that's for sure, and the web swinging actually plays quite well. Spider-Man also has the ability to climb on walls. Okay, the web did not quite register at first. But yeah, swinging is a little bit limited in how it works compared to something like Bionic Commando, but while you've grabbed on to the tether, like you have a swinging arc, you can pull in the web to bring yourself closer to the ceiling, but you'll always jump off at the end, but you can jump out of that, I think. And we can see the Spidey Sense radar implemented on this version as well, with a bit of a jarring sound effect. But again, I have played through the first stage because I want to get to the storm section. Welcome one and welcome all. Your arrival here is a bonus I didn't plan. So yeah, Arcade has captured all the X-Men, and by completing that first stage, Spider-Man rescued them all. Oh, hold on a sec. I have to press a button on this screen to cycle through. No, it wasn't that button. Hold on. Is it this one? Yep. Okay. There's Logan. Cyclops. Storm. Give me the storm. I think I hit the wrong button. Hold on. Is it start? Is it A and B together? Did I write this down? I didn't. How do I go? Golly. So maybe by pressing the button on this screen, that selects them, and then I press the other button. Yes, okay, that was it. So you press, I think, button 1, and then when it goes to black, you press button 2. I don't know, it's a little confusing. But hopefully the health system works the same way here. Actually, it looks like my health is just regenerating. Or is there an invisible water level? Oh, I think I've just wasted my main shot. Yeah, I had one special shot and I just used it up to break that clam. But, yeah, I think the graphics actually look a lot cleaner right now compared to the Mega Drive version. Although they are lacking a bit of detail. Am I supposed to be able to see the water level? I'm a little confused about this. It's possible that the conversion to Master System might have affected some of the graphics, but I wouldn't assume that to be the case. It seems like the health system does work similarly. Oh wait, I just grabbed some bubbles that were floating up and they refilled my health meter. So it might work differently here. But clearly there is a water level. I can't go up any higher here, but I'm slowly raising up as the water raises up. So the mechanics are all the same. I think the air mechanic is a little bit different, or they've added some bubbles for you to pick up to aid you throughout the level. And yeah, these clams hold out power-ups. Okay. Tony says, I've been playing Pac-Man 99. Was exciting seeing Baraduke references. Yeah, I was very excited as well when you shared that. They've included sort of guest characters that re-theme the whole gameplay area in this new Pac-Man 99 Battle Royale game, including Toby Macior from Baraduke, or Kissy as she was known in the original game, which is something that I played on stream and had a lot of fun with. And enjoyed seeing those characters. What's wrong here? Okay, am I up the surface yet? I don't think so, but nope. We've got to find some air quick. Stat. Uh-oh. Yeah. We don't have quite the same death scream here. I'll just reverse so I can get there faster. But it seems a little bit more generous with our air meter and such. Just avoid that mine. Okay, so Vodito's here too. Good to see you, buddy. Who is that X-Man? This X-Man that I'm playing as is Storm, aka Aurora Monroe. She's always been an interesting character because she, you know, has this kind of strange background where her powers didn't cause her to originally be hated and feared in her own community. Rather, she was revered as a goddess among the community that she lived in. And when she's in the X-Men, she often takes on a de facto leadership role at certain points of this story, leading the team, leading the school on different occasions. Mostly when the other characters who are more well known for that kind of role have been indisposed, incapacitated, or retired. Just got to avoid this. Some of these electric gates work a little bit differently in this version, where there's a moving part that is sort of a projectile against you. Oops. Alright, what's the time? Well, maybe we'll move on from the Game Gear one now, because I do want to show off all 4 versions. Maybe I'll get further in the SNES version, which is supposed to be the best one of the 4, according to accounts that I've read. I'll just swap this over on the visuals. Now, this is interesting. The SNES version, you'll be hearing it already, was scored by another legend of the British game composition scene, Tim Follin, as well as his brother Jeff Follin. And I think their brother Mike Follin was on programming. The good one, says Tony. Yes, well, we'll judge that, won't we? The music is a good first impression, says Tony. Yeah, a lot of Tim Follin's games... Okay, you actually have to press X to advance that screen for some reason. Yeah, he's known for awesome title screens and also awesome in-game music, but the title screens always give a good first impression, I think. Solstice was him, right? Yeah, and the Silver Surfer game on NES. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. But yeah, we can see the setup for this level is extremely similar. Web slinging is faster in this version and easier to control. So yeah, I think that's a strength of this version of the game. It looks the best, it has the best controls. But anyway, moving on from Spidey. Tony saying, this is so good. The Spider Sense thing sounded like farts before. Yeah. I'll just note a couple other things that Software Creations also made. In the Marvel world, they were responsible for 2 other Spider-Man games that also involved Venom, so Maximum Carnage and another one that I forget the name of. They did a Wolverine game on NES. They did Silver Surfer on NES, as well as a licensed game for the pirate movie Cutthroat Island. They created Plock, although that was sort of the Pickford brothers working under them, as well as Equinox, Blaster Master 2 for the Mega Drive. And one of the more surprising things on their catalog that I noticed was Mario Artist Paint Studio, a rare Western studio to work on that kind of thing, especially for something that never was released outside of Japan. This was sort of a successor to Mario Paint on the Nintendo 64 disk drive, the Japan exclusive peripheral. I was very surprised to find out that this British studio worked on that particular game and property. Pretty interesting stuff. So... what are the differences we can see here on the Super Nintendo version for Storm's stage? Well, straight away, the water effects look a lot better. They've used the transparency effects of the Super Nintendo to much greater effect than what was available or doable by this team anyway, or that team on the Mega Drive, which used a lot of dithering to achieve transparency effects. It doesn't look as good in the end, but this water looks infinitely better. Otherwise, a lot of the graphics are pretty similar. And the mechanics are quite similar as well. Which, you know, is surprising that they managed to get it so consistent between all the different versions, considering that, again, it was different teams working on each version of the game. So what have I missed? I've missed one. I think this is the point that I was stuck out on Mega Drive as well, so I'll do a bit of backtracking. Kind of overrunning time. I shouldn't have spent so long on each version. Should have been a more quick show off, but since this is acknowledged to be the probably best version of the game, I'll try and get further on this one, maybe complete the second level even if I get that far. Okay. These electric bolts are a little less visible on Super Nintendo, considering they're green rather than yellow, orange. Oops, that's okay. The surface is just here. Oh, it's in a bad spot though. Nuts. I didn't get hit quick enough. If I use that straight away... Oh yeah, I do have to avoid the explosion as well. I forgot that. Should give me just enough to... Oops. I think I might have just enough time. Yeah, if that stops and I avoid the fish, get some air, a bit more air. Oh, not good. Can I do this and then... I'm restoring my health. Not quite fast enough though, considering that... Oh! Yes! We've achieved it. Invincibility. Yeah, Tony, after this I will show the Game Boy version. But not as... I won't spend as long on it, but there's some interesting points about it that I think are worth bringing up. That we'll see. Okay, feeling good now. Let's break this valve, get back over there. I don't know who those divers are supposed to be. I guess just Arcade's henchmen or something. So let's pop over here for a quick refill. Ah, this scenario again. It seems familiar. I think we can do it though. Just get behind the whirlwind, giving us enough time to hit the squid, and oh, just made it. Yes. Okay, cool. Zap. Pow. Bomb. Okay, so that was in the background and then sort of came through to the foreground to hit me. That's pretty interesting. I want to avoid that though. Okay. Oops. Seriously? No! You can see we still have that scream effect in this version. Oof. This is pretty rough. Let's talk a bit more about Storm, actually. I mentioned her growing up in Africa. It's a little bit inconsistent between the different, versions of the backstory, but not too different. And a lot of them take place in different universes anyway, so it's that's why it's different. Oh, why am I taking constant damage like that on the valve? It's just... There's an extra life over there, but I don't need it, considering the rewinding. Yeah, so Storm's backstory, she grew up in Kenya, and this is where she sort of was regarded as a goddess thanks to her power. At some point, I think she went to live in Egypt. I think I remember reading this. I've just sort of skimmed a lot of Marvel Wiki stuff. But she ended up in Egypt as a pickpocket, which is kind of a thing that's picked up on... Oh, this might have been before the Kenya thing. You know what? I'm not really sure. But yeah, you see in X-Men Apocalypse, the film, that she's in that situation as the sort of leader of a gang of street rats and urchins. Zap, zap, zap. Pow, pow, pow. But yeah, it's unclear if that's her origin in the movie, because as I mentioned last week, she has an accent in the first movie that gets dropped for the next two. But when she comes back in the reboot, she has a more consistent accent between the two appearances that she has. But there are indications that the movie continuity is close enough to the mainstream comics continuity, in that there's a comic tie-in to the first movie that's a prequel. Oh, actually no, there's a couple of prequels, but then there's an adaptation of the movie that also includes sort of scenes that were cut from the movie itself. You know what, I'll take that death. I played this really badly at the start. I can do it better and come out with more health, I think. And yeah, whenever these kinds of adaptations establish something, they usually use things that were established in the comics to make it simpler, I guess, or whatever. So yeah, you see Storm as a younger person in the adaptation, just in a couple of panels, but it does establish that it's in Kenya. But as is often the case with these tie-in materials, they are contradicted by later installments in the movie series. Namely, you know what? This went really badly, so I'm just loading my state there. Namely the film X-Men Origins Wolverine. And while Storm doesn't actually appear in it, you do see her in a deleted scene during the time when Team X is looking for adamantium meteorites in, I think, a place that is established to be Nigeria. So that's kind of changing it up a little bit, but it wouldn't be the only inconsistency in that movie to other movies, let alone to a piece of tie-in media that isn't always considered consistent with the movies themselves. So, you know, it's all a big tangled mess, but it's not really important. Yeah. Yeah, basically I wanted to know more about Storm and did some research because I knew she was from Africa, but Africa's a big place. But yeah, in the different versions, it's not always the same. Oh, that does a lot of damage, doesn't it? Let's use our whirlwind again to deal with that squid. So the movies occasionally take cues from the Ultimate Universe, and in the Ultimate Universe, Storm's origin is in Morocco, actually. But I believe that she ended up there after being born in America. You know what? I don't remember. It's all very complicated. There's gotta be something over here, though. Tony says the scream is less ridiculous in this version. So I'll break that valve, but only after I explode down here a bit further. Oh great, another squid. Let's deal with it. Big attack, it missed. But we attacked it anyway. Get some air back and then I'll retreat for that valve. Ow, ow. Yep, okay. Let's go. Okay. Oh yeah, I just remembered another weird thing about the movies is that I think it's in First Class, the sort of reboot that's not really a reboot but sort of is. You see a woman who is sort of like Storm in the Cerebro sequence, in that she has dark skin and white hair, but that's not really consistent with her appearance and backstory as seen in Apocalypse. Oh my gosh. Okay, what are we gonna do here? We're out of special moves. If I just avoid things... Oh, okay, that worked. Took a bit of a hit there, but... So those divers are like dropping some of those eel things that the pinwheel boss was throwing at me at the end of the last stage. Okay. Mine incoming and direct hit. Oh well. The water level's gone too far to breathe, but I can bypass. That's not a good idea. Oh, okay, that worked. Oh, come on. No, that didn't work out. Yeah, I'm best off starting again from here. I'm always so mad that my rewinding abilities in this emulator are limited. Ow! Stop it! You jerk. I think I'm better off... Oh! Scream. Sorry about the scream. We're gonna try and get through this. Hopefully it doesn't take too much longer. Or you know what? There's not gonna be anything interesting. Who am I kidding? Oh wait, what's this? That's pretty interesting. There's some big machine that's shooting at me. But you know what? Never mind. We're done. I've got other more interesting games to play. But just quickly, here's the Game Boy version. I'll show you what that looks like. And a couple of interesting things about it. So the music here is done by, John C. Luce, which is not a name I recognize, but he's got quite a few credits to his name. Just to, wait, what was in the button? Yeah, cycle through a few palettes. What's going to suit us best? So instead of that comic style panel layout thing, it gives us just a text screen, and the control of the character is not so good. But what I think is a real strength of this version is the extra little graphical touches that are around, at least in this first level, that are immediately visible. We have a little cat in the window that's fully animated and has all these different frames. A radio playing over here. Another cat. And yeah, so we've still got the web slinging abilities, the flashing hotel sign. So there's a lot of added background detail that makes this feel a lot more like a fleshed out world, at least for this opening stage. The controls, yeah, a lot more awkward, but that is nice. And I will chalk that up to some people that I found in the credits for this game. 3 people are credited for artwork: Lauren Axelrod, Michelle French, and Chris Hughes. So that's 2 women working on this game whose contributions directly created a much more immersive, fun world for the game. So yeah, well done to them. Let's recognize that. But as with all the other versions, I've made it through the screen in the off time. Tony's reacting heavily to the colors and the screen crunch, which, yeah, it's fair enough. It's the Game Boy, so it's to be expected. But let's see how Storm's stage holds up in this format. Oh boy. So it's slow and sluggish to control. The UI's been relegated to a bar at the bottom of the screen, but we've still got the POW effects. We do have a water effect that's discoloring everything, the background and even foreground elements. There's even a wavering effect to the water, which is a nice touch. And the background's actually quite detailed. Oh, we've even got a new enemy type in this opening area. It looks like the mechanics work similarly, and we still have the bubble interface, which is nice, unlike the Game Gear version. But apparently we have some respawning fish over here, which I do not like so much. I think I took damage from that door. I don't know if that was true in all the other versions. But yes, Mario 64 mechanics again coming into play. I do like the kind of more ambient soundtrack going on in the background here. Just destroy this valve with a POW. Yeah, I won't spend too long here on the Game Boy, but yeah, I appreciate how well they did with this version. Oh, there's the second valve, of course. POW. Yeah, they made it feel similar to the other versions, despite obviously a much less powerful console to work with. So we've got our extra pickups now. Let's just see what they look like. Stay away from me, fish. Eh. Well, it moves around, actually. A lot more on this version. I'll try my other little one here. Boom! That's just a screen clearing bomb, apparently. No extra projectile effects. Oh well. So yeah, again, they did a good job making all 4 versions consistent despite the different platforms and different development teams. So good job them. And yeah, for the Game Boy, pretty impressive. But times are ticking by, so let's move on. Tony was making a lot of suggestions last week for the original Mega Drive X-Men game. I'm not actually going to play that. I chose to pick a different one based on the character selection that was available. But what I'm playing is definitely in the same lineage, and I'll explain that as I play it. So what I'm playing now is X-Men 2 Clone Wars, which is a little confusing if you're a Star Wars fan. But it jumps you right into the action in medias res as Wolverine. I think I read that you can change who you start as if you press a D-pad direction as the game boots, but I couldn't get that to work. But I did find a workaround. If you let yourself be killed in the opening stage by these ninjas, or whatever they are, who look pretty similar to some characters that we saw in the Danger Room simulation at the start of the X-Men, the official movie game tie-in game that I played last time. Just do a bit more adjustment on the layout here, considering I've changed screen size again. Crossover of the century, says Tony. Well, I guess Disney owns them all now, so it could conceivably happen. X-Men have crossed over with Star Trek actually at least 3 times, not with Star Wars at all, to my knowledge. But yeah, if you die in the first stage, then you get to pick who you play the first stage as. And here's our selection: Beast, Cyclops, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, and of course Wolverine. And we're going to pick Psylocke because she's the only woman on the team, but again, an interesting character, partly because, well, she is again a woman of color, although it's a little odd. Psylocke is Betsy Braddock, the sister of Captain Britain, who is a white, like, toff, like she's rich and owns this big mansion and everything. But at some point, due to comic shenanigans, her mind got swapped with a Japanese ninja. So she's in the body of a Japanese woman. And that persisted, like, you know, she existed in her original state through the Captain Britain comics. And I think that change happened after Marvel UK kind of stopped, but I'm not really sure. She has recently been reverted to her original body and is now the current Captain Britain in a post-Krakoa setting of the X-Men universe, and leading the new Excalibur team. But as she is here, this is Psylocke. She has a cool sword and like ninja powers, or ninja abilities, but also the power of creating a psychic blade out of her fist. And we can see that in one of her attacks here, which gives her a little dash forwards in midair, which is fun to use. But it's also really fun to flip around and use her sword normally as well. Oops. We're actually getting really low on health, so I will try and use a bit of rewinding to not die. because, yeah, I want to make some progress. But this is the Mega Drive. Tony reacting to, I think, my explanation of Psylocke's character, saying, what? Possibly? But yeah, you know, comics. Oh, that's a good health pickup. I do have a sort of double jump that gives me a little bit of extra height with a somersault, which is nice, and a wall cling. So very agile. I think from what I played of Wolverine in the opening chapter, he's got similar abilities as well. I don't know about the others. Oh boy. But yeah, to explain the provenance of the game, since I mentioned Tony was requesting X-Men for the Mega Drive, this is kind of in the same lineage. It's not by the same developer, but there's a series of... It's called X-Men 2 for that reason. It's following up directly on the X-Men game previously released on the Mega Drive. I think it's a different developer, but they're both published by Sega. This is part of a lineage of games published by Sega that includes a bunch of Game Gear ones as well. So the first one on Mega Drive had an accompanying Game Gear release, although it had a different setup and stuff, but it had the same name. It was just called X-Men, and it was released at the same time, I think. But they don't have much to do with each other. But on the Game Gear, there's a strong sense of coherence with 3 titles in a row, all made by the same developer, and with similar gameplay structure and stuff like that. I'll be playing one of those after this. But yeah, it's all part of this kind of Sega X-Men universe, as I think of it. Oh man, stupid ninjas. All right, we'll just continue as we are now. Oh, I see a big health pickup. That'll be lovely. Yummy. Back up to 4. Kaboom. Pretty cool. The wind-up is quite long on the ground with the Psy sword, so it's not that great to use normally unless you want a bit of a dash in the air like that, which is fun. But that's the end of the first level, and the game starts proper with the title screen at this stage within Cerebro, as we see in this frame. So that's kind of a cool way to start the game, dumping you right in the action. You play through the first stage, and then you get the title screen. Just adjust the frame here a bit. Move that to the left. Okay, cool. X-Men 2 Clone Wars, developed by Headgames. I couldn't find too much info about Headgames. Their Wikipedia article redirects to Activision, so I guess they got absorbed into Activision at some point. But their listing on Moby Games has a few of the things that they did. They're responsible for Wacky World's creativity studio, essentially the Sega equivalent to Mario Paint that features Sonic and even Echo the Dolphin as characters within it. But yeah, they also made this game in 1995. I don't think I mentioned that 1992 was the release date for Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge. And 1992 is an important date because it was kind of a relaunch of the X-Men franchise, including the cartoon, which redesigned a lot of the characters that then fed back into the comics. And it was extremely popular and influential on the series going forward. I'm not really that familiar with it, to be honest, so I couldn't tell you how that's affecting this game, but it is important to the franchise overall. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. We're talking about the plot. It's not important. Don't worry about it. Tony is actually marveling at that screen there, saying it's very cinematic, and I agree. They did a great job here with this, and now that there's not that screen clearing, screen covering snow effect, I'll actually start with not full health, or maybe the different characters have different health levels or something. Maybe Psylocke has a bit less health overall. Some of her sprites kind of make her look like she has pointed ears, like an elf, which is interesting. She's not an elf, but look at that head and tell me you don't see it. She has a weird outfit. Psylocke. So strange. Okay, how do I get out of here? Oh, what's this? Giant foot? We recognize this from last stream, don't we? It's probably a big sentinel. Sentinels, of course, were introduced to the movie universe in X-Men the official game, tying in with the third movie. What do I do here? Oh, that looks so much cooler without all the snow around. I'll get a clearer look at it. So maybe I need to ascend at some other point earlier in the level. Otherwise, I hope that we just didn't pick the wrong character. Maybe that's the thing. Only certain characters can progress in certain levels. That might be a mechanic. Oh, okay. Ouch. Okay, so that was it. By destroying that panel, it's releasing electricity, which then runs to the door that temporarily opens it. Okay, that's a neat little mechanic. And I took some hits, so we'll just... Yep, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so Psylocke's pretty cool. I haven't seen too much of her because she's not in the movies much. Her first appearance in the movie adjacent universe is... Oh yeah, okay, so when I've gone up above that level of health, it's given me a yellow bar showing that like I'm above the normal maximum, I guess. And now I've lost it. So she first pops up in the movie universe in a tie-in comic set just after the first movie. I think it was released by Hasbro with an action figure line or something, but it's like Magneto distracts the X-Men team by sending his agents to different places, and his agents include the characters in the movie, even the ones who died. Oh, what's going on here? Down this way. Ow. Well, that's fine. Yeah, and then he's like, haha, Charles, didn't you know I have new recruits, so check these out. And he's got, oh, no, I don't remember who's on his team. A bunch of weirdos with odd names. I didn't recognize any of them, but they're comic characters that have been reinterpreted to the movie universe. And then the professor's like, oh yeah, well, I got new X-Men too, no. And some more characters pop up who have, you know, movie-style uniforms, like we said that Marvel Academy, the fighting game, did with giving comic characters movie-style uniforms. And it's Colossus, Angel, and Psylocke, two of which will appear in later movies as real movie continuity things, with slightly different interpretations. But yeah, Psylocke's there, and she's got the mark over her eye, which she got in the comic thanks to some mystical evil dimension. What's it called? Crimson Dawn or something? That's a Star Wars thing. Maybe it's not that. But yeah, like it amplifies her power, but like takes over her mind or something. Anyway, she had that in the movie comic. What do you think? Does she have it here? I don't think so. Yeah, let's say no. So obviously I have to break something, but it's not here. It's going to be somewhere else, clearly. And then all of those little units will break. That's how it works. Yes, I've been paying attention to the mechanics. I just need to find the right unit somewhere in this level. Not here. Or do I need to follow that bolt all the way along? Let's see how far it goes. Nope, not very far. Okay, so I need to break something. Ow, quit it. That one's already broken. Ninjas. So yeah, that was Psylocke's first appearance there that I talked about, but doesn't really count because it's completely ignored by anything else in movie continuity, which is fair enough. So you sort of see her again in X-Men 3, The Last Stand, again directed by human scum Brett Ratner. And yeah, that's a kind of weird case because some of the characters in that movie were going to be other characters, or they were told different things earlier on and then it got changed during production. So there's conflicting information about who some of these people are and what they do. But a character who looks like Psylocke, has purple hair and stuff, and is called Psylocke in the credits, appears as part of what's her name? It's the Omega Gang under what's her name? She's a Morlock in the comics, but she's in the Mega Gang here in X3. And her name is something. She's got super speed, whereas in the comics she had some other weird power. It's kind of like the first iteration of what Quicksilver would be in the prequel movies. Ow, stop it. Ow. Dang it. Oh, what is her name? Can you look it up, Tony? She's like probably one of the more prominent secondary characters in The Last Stand. I don't know, whatever, it's not important. Anyway, Psylocke's kind of there, although she never does anything or I think has any lines in The Last Stand. Tony says, "Ah yes, Quicksilver from WandaVision." No, yeah, yes, but no. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So she's in the movie, sort of. She doesn't do anything. And so promotional material before the movie and sort of interviews with the actress say that her power has something to do with her disappearing into shadows, which is not in Psylocke's usual skill set. So it was theorized that she was supposed to be a different character, but whether she did anything or not, it was cut or whatever. So yeah, it's not really much of an appearance, but she has a much more prominent appearance in Apocalypse as one of the Four Horsemen, and there she's played by Olivia Munn, who, well, to put it delicately, does not match the depiction of Psylocke in the comics. I mentioned before that she is physically a character of East Asian descent. Now, Olivia Munn herself is half Filipino Chinese, I believe. But yeah, I don't know. I won't harp on it too much, but casting decisions are interesting sometimes, aren't they? Anyway, she doesn't end up having too much of a character arc in the movie either, unfortunately. Because there is a lot of interesting stuff to her character as it is in the comics. Anyway, yeah, Tony's saying some stuff in chat, so let's cover that. X-Men 2. So Tony's reading some information about this game. X-Men 2 was one of a handful of releases for the Sega Genesis in 1995 that used a paper box rather than the standard clamshell case that Genesis games came in. And they're saying, wow, a paper box? So I guess Sega really cheaped out on this one. Okay, that's fine. The game itself is actually really good and plays very well, from what I've played so far. And need I remind you that there's a whole set of other characters that I haven't been playing as who have their own individual playstyles, although, yeah, Wolverine seems to feel pretty similar to Psylocke from my brief experience with the game. But other ones will have projectiles and stuff, so they might feel a bit different to play as. This is really smooth though, and having this spinning attack is really fun and satisfying. Yeah, so we've just walked into a Sentinel's mouth. I feel like I need to see this out at least, but I'll be moving on soon to the next one. Okay, so this level takes place inside the body of a Sentinel. That's pretty cool. And again, reminiscent of the official game on GBA, where we were inside the master mold for a fair bit of it. This might actually be a kind of master mold, or else the core of a Sentinel just has a Sentinel face on it for some reason. That's possible. Ow. I think my normal sword seems more effective than the Psyblade in most cases, unfortunately. I've just been using it most of the time. Bam! Pow! I'm dead. A couple of other interesting tidbits about this game. Part of the reason I picked it, apart from the character selection, having Psylocke available, and I do like her as a character. I have read some comics with her in because I read the Captain Britain stuff that was related to Doctor Who spin-offs that Alan Moore had created. And she appears in that briefly, but not in any major capacity. Anyway. The other reason that I picked it was that I noticed a name that I recognized in the development staff. And, well, not development staff, but the producing staff on the Sega side. So Headgames made the game, but Sega published it, of course. And the producer for the game is Ed Annunziata, who I know very well from Echo the Dolphin and, well, Calibri, Mr. Bones, Mort the Chicken, all his other games. But yeah, primarily Echo. And in that case, he was working with Novatrade in Hungary on behalf of Sega. But yeah. Oh, and Chakan the Forever Man, of course, as well. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for the guy. And, I don't know how much I can attribute the game's quality to him, but it was nice seeing him there, considering I'm a fan of his other work. So one more interesting tidbit about the game. I talked about how there's a lineage of games on the Sega consoles of the time that sort of follow on from each other in some ways. So this is, and most prominently with the title of this game being X-Men 2, it was going to be followed up. Okay, I destroyed it but died at the same time. What's going to happen? You get a lovely explosion effect, but kicks me back because I died. So let's try and get through that. See if there's anything. Oh, I'm up on a higher platform and I can't get down. Oh, I got down. Okay. There's a barrier there that I jumped over. So if I just slip in here, there's a lot of electrical bolts that are going to cause me problems, but oh, yep. Sorry, I just gotta have a really good timing here. Like so. Oh, nailed it. Whew, after a lot of rewinds, but that's alright. So, that's the core down. Oh, there was extra health over here. I don't know if I was supposed to go there earlier. Oh, should I leave now? Yeah, I guess that would be logical. Destroyed the core and get out fast. Anyway, oh yes, we actually have an escape sequence here with explosions that damage me, much like the end of Super Metroid. Okay, that's not good. But yeah, Tony says, oh yes, talking about Quicksilver from WandaVision. I did like that at first, the whole casting the Fox Quicksilver. Yeah, I did hear that. I haven't seen WandaVision, but I was reading about Peter Maximoff and I don't remember the name of the actor, but they included the character of Quicksilver from the Fox prequel movies, or the same actor, to reprise the role inside of whatever virtual reality WandaVision takes place in. I'm lost. Okay, this way. Tony says this is very cinematic. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to escape, actually. Oh, the bolts are blocking my way over there. Yep, can't go that way. This way, then? Yeah, that's it. Nope. Down. I'm going to run out of time, aren't I? And yeah, Tony didn't know who I was talking about. She's got a big tattoo of the Greek symbol of Omega on her chest. I don't know. It's not important. She ends up being Magneto's kind of second in command since Mystique gets booted out by him during Last Stand. Anyway. Oh man. screen effects are quite disorienting. 30 seconds or 30 time units or whatever they are. Oh, it's not this way, is it? Down on the bottom, maybe? Oops. I'll just rewind that. So it is this way, I guess. Do a few damage boosts because I'm really running low on time. Apparently you got to do this pretty well in terms of routing. Emergency exit. Hey! Seconds to spare. Widespread phalanx infiltration detected in Magneto's asteroid Avalon. What is happening? That is a good question. I'm sure that sentence made sense to somebody. So let's briefly now talk about the plans for the continuation of the Sega series here. So this is X-Men 2, the second of the 16-bit X-Men games that Sega published on their consoles. There was going to be a third with the plans for it to be titled X-Women, which harkens back to a line that Mystique had in Dark Phoenix. But true to the name, it would have featured only female characters, which I would have appreciated given my choices for characters today, taking that into account. Who was it? Storm, Jean Grey, and Wolverine, and Rogue, of course. So those are all important female X-Men characters. And yeah, it would have had to do with, I don't know, something or other. Some kind of virus, legacy virus? I don't know, whatever. Point is, there was some footage of it actually that surfaced, and people claimed to have a prototype of it, but it was never officially released in the end, or finished even. So yeah, we didn't get that, unfortunately. Tony says, I think there were aliens or something that invaded the planet and Magneto joins them. I don't remember. Okay, there were definitely aliens. Yeah, it's not important. Okay, I'm going to move on now. Yeah, there's aliens in Dark Phoenix. Magneto doesn't join them. But he joins some other people in Last Stand. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we're going back to Sega Land. Or staying in Sega Land, rather. Oops. Sorry, I'm trying to get the footage up now. Just changing the input. Okay. Right, so yeah, I talked about the Mega Drive X-Men games that Sega was putting out, and the Game Gear ones to accompany them, including this sort of consistent series done by Sega in-house. I don't know, they're just credited as Sega whenever I tried looking it up, but yeah, this is today. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the art on the screen to match whatever I'm showing in the middle. Okay, I think that's good now. Right, so this is the third and final installment on the Game Gear, although yeah, I believe what's happened here is that it got a Brazilian release on the Master System, and that's what I'm playing. Or maybe it got a wider release on Master System as well. But yeah, this is the Master System version of Mojo World, the third of the 8-bit Sega X-Men games. Okay, 1996. Mostly created by two people in general, Jerry Makota and Paul Hutchinson. This is a really odd choice of these two difficulty settings, so I'm going to pick the easy one, clearly. But there are also other difficulty things that are relevant, especially in that each of the X-Men characters you can choose to play as have very different statistics to them. So at the beginning, we only have access to Wolverine and Rogue, but I have it on good authority that Rogue is well overpowered compared to Wolverine. She takes less damage, she has more mutant power, and that is a thing that you activate by pressing start on the Game Gear or by hitting 1 and 2 at the same time on Master System, like so. So now my blue bar has appeared on the top left of the screen. That's going to drain slowly as long as mutant mode is activated. My punches will do more power. I took many hits to destroy that henchman earlier, but now I'm killing them in only 2 or 3. So I'm going to turn up the volume on the game because it's a bit low. It's different on every game, isn't it? Of course. The other thing that Rogue can do when mutant power is active is... Oh, there's a wall there. But I can fly freely because Rogue can do that in the comics. Ever since she absorbed the powers of Captain Marvel. Or was she Ms. Marvel at the time? I'm not sure. Anyway, Rogue was originally a villain. She was raised by Mystique within the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, as they're called in the comics. But after absorbing the powers of Captain Marvel, she also absorbed part of her personality, which is a really weird thing to have happen to a character, have their personality be changed by, like, directly by contact with another. And she's not a bad guy, she's suddenly a good guy because of that, which is, it's very strange. But that's how it happened in the comics, and that's who we're playing as. Oh my gosh, what the heck is this? So this game in general won't take too long to complete. The main reason I'm playing it is because of a character that we will unlock later in the game, but I'll talk about that later. Is that Wendigo? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Some kind of weird naked dog creature. So it's a little, lacking in fanfare or anything like that, but with every level you complete, you gain another playable character that you can choose from on this screen. I don't know if they act like actual lives or anything, but we're never going to die as Rogue, so it's not important, and we'll never find out. So second level, after the requisite sewer level, which they front-loaded in this game for some reason, we are now on some kind of military base fighting our way through. Oh, it's American too, so we're punching American Armed Forces members, apparently, which, is not unusual in the films or comics. Often when they're being very militantly anti-mutant. Normally it's like Stryker's splinter group that they're killing, so it's like more okay, but a little odd. Yeah, Tony says this game seems a little basic. Yeah, that's not an unfair criticism or observation, but yeah, it's on the Game Gear. I think the graphics are pretty nice for the Game Gear. Very colourful in this stage. It looks a lot better than the sewers of the last level. But you can see how easy it is to get through a level as Rogue just by flying over the whole thing. And I've not even used half of my bar of mutant power at this point, so there's no problem with having it activated at all times. Rogue really is the game's easy mode if you're looking to get through the game a bit easier. So this appears to be Magneto, which is, an interesting choice for the second level boss. But presumably there's a greater threat later in the game. I don't know when we're actually going to get to Mojo World, but I believe the story of the game is that there's a villain from Mojo World and has, created a TV show and abducted all the mutants from the past. That's what I read, something along those lines. It's complicated and stupid, so, who cares? But yeah, we've just unlocked Cyclops, but again, we're not going to use Cyclops because Rogue is good, and I like Rogue, and I'm going to keep using her. And she's a woman, which is nice. Though unlike all the other characters we're playing as today, she's also a white American, but that's okay. She doesn't get all the diversity points. So is it a robot or something? Hey, oh, it's a teleporting robot with lasers, but I'm going to punch it up anyway. So during practice and preparation for these games, I got through the first 2 stages super easily in not too much time. So that's what I've done so far. So anything from here is all new to me, but it is quite simple. This level looks to be a bit more of a maze. The sewer was a little bit of a maze, but quite simple anyway. Here there's a bit more stuff blocking us. Ah yes, and we can go indoors. I wondered if that would be the case. By the way, the little pickups scattered around the hearts clearly replenish our health, and the little spinning quad orbs, whatever they are, refill our mutant energy power, which is the blue bar. We like having it active because we can fly and our punches will do more damage, but I notice I'm actually running kind of low by going through this stage. So I might conserve it a little bit before we get to the boss. Oh, walking is so slow. Oops. Hang on, is that death? Let's find out. It is! And death resets us back to the start, although it didn't refill my health, worryingly. Oh boy, flicker, heavy flicker. Too many robots on screen. Oh wait, some of them were supposed to be flickering because they're teleporting. That's alright, never mind them. I can't do mid-air attacks either if you're wondering. Oh, and when mutant power is not activated, Rogue has a flipping double jump instead of the fly that happens. Whee! Which looks pretty cool, I'll admit. You know what? I don't know where to go. Let's fly. Yeah, so double tapping jump will make you fly in mutant power mode, but it will make you double jump otherwise. Let me see. I've already been up the top, haven't I? So I guess it'll be somewhere along here. Considering there's all these impossible walls around blocking my progress. Oh, this looks familiar. Perhaps some backtracking is required. Right. Well, that's not unwelcome. Filling 2 bars of my mutant power. Never mind. Whoops. Well, let's just fly over that. Oh no. I can double jump, I forgot. Oh! Oh. That works too. Yeah, so like I was saying, Rogue has a very different interpretation of her character in the films compared to the comics. But it works. Oh great, I've actually backtracked all the way to the start of the level. I gotta try going in some more doors, I guess. Nah, it's just pickups all over the place. And I've run out of mutant power. Well, I've kind of thoroughly explored and ended up back at the start. So what I'm going to do is load a save state. Oh no, where am I? This wasn't a good idea. Okay, I think I know where I am. So I kind of got to a dead end before trying any doors, which was this one. So if I just go a different direction and try some other doors, we'll eventually find our way out of this maze, won't we? Right. But yeah, the way that Rogue's depicted in the movies seems to be more in line with other kind of young female point of view characters who bond with Wolverine in the comics, including people like Kitty Pryde or Jubilee. But again, yeah, it works for the character and what they were doing with it. You know what? The other levels, it was like, get to the right side of the screen, then walk off. Yeah, there it is. Hold on. Before I do that, I can't actually reach that mutant pickup over there, so that's alright. We'll just go into the boss fight and do our best with rewinds. Loading save states? Never, says Tony. Okay, that's not good. So yeah, we're fighting a big O Sentinel-O. Not good. Turn off my mutant power. It's only got 3 health. Maybe this is a bit more of a puzzle boss. It's got eye lasers, which we want to avoid. They flash and then, yep. But I can't attack in the air. Oh, I can I? Sort of. Oh, right, I can. Yes, okay. It's just a little finicky. You can't press both buttons at once. You have to take your hand off the jump to do a punch. And it's taking a few hits. Yeah, I keep accidentally activating and deactivating mutant power, but I can punch in midair to hit this Sentinel's face, which is the weak point, clearly. But I'm doing variable damage because of the activation of my mutant state. Okay, well, that was it. Who have I unlocked? Havoc! Cool, good for him. He has a fun little minor arc through the prequel movies. Okay, yeah, Havoc is Cyclops' brother. But again, Rogue is better than anyone else. But this is the level where I'm going to actually unlock the character that I really wanted to most see in this game when I read about her. Yeah, I'll talk about her when I get to her, I guess. But I guess we won't be able to play as her for very long because that will be the last level of the game. But that's how all of these Game Gear Master System games in the series work. A series of levels, each one you beat unlocks a new member of the team. And yeah, each game has a different lineup of available characters. Might as well take advantage of the Travelator. Oh yeah. Tony asks, how long is this game? Well, not long. The long plays go for a bit over half an hour. So yeah, we'll be finished with this very soon. We're at the second last level, I believe. Useful energy pickups. I don't know where I'm supposed to be right now or who these enemies are, but they're in my way. That's the important thing. So I'm going to punch them. Also, they're a lot shorter than me. Yeah, so I guess my point is that the reason I like Rogue and, well, a lot of the X-Men is from the movies again. And given that her depiction is quite different. Oh, what? Did I start here? Whatever. Nice graphics at the top there. It's like a very large complex of some kind or a city in the background. And we're underground here in this facility. Getting low on mutant power. Oh, nuts. I feel like oh! Huh? Wait. What's that about? Oh no, I didn't go back to the start because I started up here and then I've traversed down to the bottom layer. The basement. But it's always been go off the right side of the screen, and I feel like I've done that in all the places that I could have. Yeah, it's got to be start up top, progress to the lower levels. That's got to be it. It's so much faster to fly. And that's the edge of the screen, so... Oh, okay, cool. My hunch proved correct. Very nice. But there's another phase. Okay, this is a rare 2-screen level. And we have a new kind of enemy down there. Ow. Stop it. Ow, 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 ow. So this is how it works when you don't have mutant power active. Oh, and the walkthrough I read recommended always crouching to attack as a rogue because you have greater reach with your punches. So this is a normal rogue punch, and this is a crouching rogue punch. You know what? I don't think they're all that different now that I look at it. Oh. Well, I hadn't saved for a while, but that's okay. I was right next to the exit with a lot more mutant power this time, so that's good. So I'll save here. Save state. And yeah. Okay, things are looking up. So we'll have to look out for another tunnel entrance or possibly the right edge of the screen. But yeah, there's a lot of exits from that lift. Oh, okay, cool. That was the end of the level. Oh no, where am I now? Am I back at where I started? Huh. Or is this a third screen? I think this might be a third area. No, I recognize this setup. Alright, I guess I better load back here. This kind of reminds me of Quartet, another Master System game that I played a while back, where there were like two halves of the level, like back and front, and you had to find something in one part to get out of the other part. Alright, so I'll try and run off the right side of this screen if I can. Not here, not here. Maybe up higher? Interesting. Maybe there's a different exit from the basement. Hey, get out of my way, guy. How much health do these things have, dude? What the heck? Seriously. I can't fly through them. Well, let's just not have that encounter, shall we? So I'll try going up here. Okay, just a few pickups. Tony says, it's a maze? Hell! This is hell. So I've definitely been over here. It looks like it's all blocked on the right. Alright, let's just assume this is a side area that's optional. Have I been to the left over here? I have. Yes, Rogue now has the power to rewind time, by the way. That's something that... I guess she got it from Kitty. In the kind of extended cut of Days of Future Past. Alright, so we're going to look for a separate tunnel opening and see if there's a different screen that we get to. So we'll just have to get back over to the basement. And now that I know what to look for... hello? Well, that's just weird. I don't know how you're supposed to get through that platform, but I couldn't go down unless I flew down through it. Maybe I didn't try everything. Anyway. So if we're looking for an exit like that, let's see if we can find one. Hey, stop it, buddy. And you. So, am I in Mojo World? Tony says, I hate this music. Sorry. I'll turn it down just for you, Tony. There you go. It's softer now. Do 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 do. Oh no. Okay. So, aha. Yeah, that lattice thing is... So maybe that side area was supposed to teach you that lattices can lead to exits? I don't know. Very strange. But we found the way to the boss fight finally. We're here now. Okay, this guy's flashing sometimes. I don't know who this is supposed to be either. Some kind of red gun, green hair, blue suit. Tony's very happy that the music is done. Oops. Yeah, who is this? Stop it. Okay, done. All right, so by clearing level 4, we've unlocked our sixth character. We saw her briefly on the title screen. She's also visible on the cover art, which is on the right side of our screens now. This is Shard, also known as... Tony says, what is Rogue's power? Rogue's power is absorbing the powers of other people, and she absorbed powers of Captain Marvel, which permanently gave her the ability to fly, have super strength, and I think fire blasts out of energy out of her hands. But enough about Rogue. She's old news. The cool new X-Man on the block is Shard. Oh yeah, check it out. It's Shard. Pew pew pew. I can punch in the air and my fist goes weird. That is a really strange animation. It's actually pretty funny. So Shard is cool. Do you know Bishop? Bishop is probably a more prominent character than Shard. I'm just trying to figure out how her abilities work. Okay. I can fire blasts, but only when I'm standing on the ground, which is not very helpful for this flying car. And I walk pretty slowly, but I'm committed to using Shard for this final level because it's exciting to have her available. Yeah, so Bishop appeared in the movie universe in Days of Future Past without really acknowledging his backstory from the comics where he's from the future. But I guess in the case of that movie, they were in that future. So yeah, I guess that's how it works. Okay, I can double jump too. That's good. Anyway, he's from this, like, he's the prominent one. Shard is kind of a hanger-on to him because for whatever reason, Bishop tends to stick out more. But yeah, Shard is Bishop's sister. Or like, yeah, it's strange. His like code name is Bishop, but it's just his last name because he's Lucas Bishop and she is Shard Bishop, and her actual name is Shard, but then her code name is Shard. It's strange. That's what I have gleaned, and it's a little odd, but that's how it is. Comics, what can you do? So what is their backstory? They're from a dark future where mutants are being hunted, locked up, and exterminated even. They both have these brands over their eyes of the letter M, which is what mutants who have been interred in the camps receive to identify them. It's all very nasty stuff in this evil future. But yeah, they come back in time, both of them, to try and prevent this future from happening. And I guess they're ultimately successful because that's, it's a happy ending. Otherwise, things would be nasty. But they end up staying in the past, I think, even after their crisis is resolved. Probably. I'm not really sure. Didn't make much use of her powers. Let's do it on the boss then. She could shoot energy. So her powers are that she has control over photonic energy, aka light. Who is this Darth Vader guy? He's just a guy dressed in black with a cape. I have no idea which comic character this person is supposed to be, but let's just say it's Darth Vader, who is good at kicking now and dropped his lightsaber on the way over. Oh, I can go up here. That's nice. Yeah, so she has power over light and stuff, but... oh, that's it. We killed Darth Vader. Oh, there's another one. Okay, cool. Well, that gives us another chance to continue being Shard. Yeah, so she can like shoot light blasts from her hands and stuff, and I don't know, probably do other stuff. But I do know that at some point she... I guess she dies, but like after death, she's able to reconstitute herself as a hologram, not unlike Rimmer from Red Dwarf. A different mechanism, but it's tied in with her powers. She has power over light. She becomes a being of light, hard light that is able to manifest a physical form. So that's pretty interesting. A little bit like, if you're not familiar with Red Dwarf, maybe you're familiar with Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog comics, in which case think of Nicole, the Cyber Lynx character. And that's kind of what Shard is now. Tony says, level 6, Mojo World. I guess I'm in Mojo World now. Sure. I think the pink sky is probably a hint that we were in Mojo World already in the last level, and considering the enemies are all the same, that we're still there. Mojo World is like an alternate dimension that somehow has access to Earth media, and a lot of stuff is based on Earth culture or something. It's a really strange, surreal place with grotesque denizens. But I don't know too much more about it beyond that, except that the guy in Deadpool 2 who has like 2 swords, he's from the Mojo world, I think. Okay. So can I jump higher in mutant mode? Not quite. Can't quite make that, but I can hit this guy through the wall. He can stop shooting at me. Am I just stuck right now? This is a bit frustrating. Okay, I can go up here and then go over here. Oh boy, let's try it again. Come on, please. Oh no. Yes, we made it. Now I just gotta do this dang car. Pew pew pew. Great. Ugh. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, Shard, as she is now, is a hologram person, which is pretty cool. Although, yeah, she appears to be a normal person in this. Maybe this is pre-hologram or something. I don't know what extra ability she has as a hard light state, but whatever. Yeah. So another cool thing about Shard, and this is really rare in video games, is that both Shard and Lucas Bishop are Indigenous Australian characters. So their background is that they're First Nations from Australia. And yeah, like that's very rare. I did a whole stream a while back where I sort of played and talked about a lot of games made by and about Indigenous people. And in the end, I didn't really come up with much playable, in terms of playable characters, which is a shame. The main one that I played through during that stream was the mobile soccer / educational game Second Chances, which was pretty cool. I liked the art style a lot, and the main character in that is has an Indigenous background. From memory, the only other one I found through research was one of the available characters in Dead Island, who also is a woman actually, which means that of the 3 that I now have knowledge of as it is. Oh, I can jump through that wall. Okay. That all 3 of them are women as well, which is really cool. Tony says, Mojo World sure isn't very mojo. Rude. I'm sure they're very proud of their mojo. Maybe I need to get off the right side of the screen here. Nope. My guess is it's down there and that I just have to find the right door to go down there. Get past that car. Oh, I'm kind of walking around at random here. I feel a bit lost. And those explosions can hit me through the floor, unfortunately. Maybe we can go this way. Anyway, so Lucas and Shard. Oh, maybe I can pass through walls because I'm a hologram? Oh no, it's just some walls. Pass through bubble if you jump. It's a way to hide collectibles, perhaps. Anyway. So yeah, Shard and Lucas have this background, but given that they were interred in mutant concentration camps their whole life, they actually grew up in America, in an American camp. And they don't think they knew their parents very much, I'm not sure. But I do know that as part of their ancestry, that they're related to another prominent Indigenous Australian mutant from the comics, that being Gateway. This is a guy who, well, it's kind of odd because he doesn't talk much at all, which is an interesting choice to, silence a character like that, but I guess that's just part of his character. But his ability is he can make teleport gates, and during certain arcs of the story, they use those a lot to transport themselves to different parts of the world and stuff. So he helps different good guy teams to get to different places. Actually, there was a reference to that character, Gateway, in the Netflix Castlevania show, if you were following along with that, when Saint-Germain is in the Infinite Corridor in Season 3, one of the portals that he looks through, there's a guy in front of Uluru spinning a thing and making a gateway in very much the same way the gateway does. So that was kind of fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this looks promising. That's got to be close to the end. There we go. And we killed the car earlier through the wall, so smooth sailing. Oh my gosh, what is this guy's deal? I think this might be the guy on the cover of the game, so this could be the final boss. I know that guy was green, so I don't know who this is. But it looks very Mojo-esque, I would say, from my knowledge of looking up images of what Mojo-verse characters look like. Ouch. This guy's powerful too. Is this the Mojo? Tony's saying Mojo a lot. So if you have this knowledge of Mojo things, then I will trust you that we're facing off with the Mojo right now, which is gratifying. Okay, come on, only a bit more. Yes, we just scraped through. Shard had the power. I could do it. All right, so we destroyed Mojo. Not everyone is available in the final screen here. Shard is notably missing, unfortunately, but okay, that was a choice they made. Gambit also not here, but at least Rogue is. So there's our ending screen. We beat the game. And yeah, again, it's just really cool having a character of Indigenous Australian heritage as a prominent playable character in a game, especially as a superhero like that. So that's really cool. Thanks, X-Men Mojo World, and whoever created the character in the first place. Oh yeah, here's some credits for you. So Jerry Marcoda and Paul Hutchinson, with some art by Kim Bisco as well, who's a guy at Sega as well. And yeah, Hutchinson and Marcoda also doing music design and other stuff. And the story by Jerry Marcoda. Not that there was much of it present in the game. Presumably the manual has a bit more story. I should have looked that up in Sega Retro to maybe give us a bit of context. But I didn't. If you're interested, go to Sega Retro. They always have good scans of manuals and things for Sega games and box art and stuff. You know what? I'll do it right now. We'll just keep your eye on this screen for a bit while I look up the manual real quick on my phone. Sega Retro Mojo World. Take me there. Dang it. Search engines aren't really good at getting specific pages from Sega Retro, so I'll go to the website and use its search function. Tony's saying that the ending was more half-assed than the GBA one that I played last time. The movie tie-in, where it was like, "Let's go home," says Colossus, as Tony relates. Okay, I'm on the trail, I'm finding it. Tony goes on to say, "For such a small dev team, it's impressive, I suppose. Game Gear games were always low budget, I guess." Yeah, and considering it didn't take too long to beat, you might have felt shortchanged if you'd got this back in the day for your Game Gear. But there's lots of characters to experiment with, which is fun. So that's a good thing. Alright, I found the manual. I'm loading up the file. Oh, that's good. The demo will show us a bit how the other characters play. Wolverine looks to have a bit more of a versatile moveset in terms of different attacks. And yes, this is showing you how to cheese the level by flying as Rogue. Correct. This is how you play. Alright, X-Men Mojo World. Handling your Sega game pack. Okay, introduction. The diabolical Mojo has crafted his greatest plot ever. In order to secure his reign of power over Mojo World, Mojo has chosen to televise the X-Men's greatest battles for all to see. To carry out his twisted desires, Mojo has commissioned the beautiful yet dangerous Spiral to gather the X-Men legends of the past, present, and future and pit them against the most relentless team of mutant villains ever gathered. Only you can save the X-Men and see to it that Mojo never seizes power again. There's a few typos in this text scroll, so forgive me. Relentless team of mutant villains, and it didn't even include Apocalypse or Mr. Sinister or Omega Red. So let me read you some of the bios from the manual. Rogue, with but a touch, the young woman known only as Rogue can absorb the powers and memories of anyone. Super strong and virtually impervious to harm, Rogue is a former member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. She has since realized the error of her ways and now uses her mutant power as a member of the X-Men. Shard, the sister of the X-Men called Bishop. Shard exists in an alternate future where the mutant hunting Sentinels rule. The ultimate street fighter, Shard uses her mutant energy powers to take down the Sentinels and try to save what's left of her world. So from that, it doesn't seem like she's an energy being at this point in the series, I guess. And some of the villains that were here, Fitzroy was the blue guy with the green hair and the red gun. So he's like a bad guy from the future that is related to the Bishop's backstory. The grey kind of dog creature in the first level boss was a warwolf. Warwolves are sentient canine/humanoid creatures, blah blah blah. Magneto, Sentinels, and the Darth Vader guy was somebody called the Agent, an emissary of evil created by the maniacal Mojo. The Agent is incredibly strong, a being capable of numerous superhuman feats. Okay. Interesting. Yes. And indeed, the last two levels were within Mojo World after taking us through future New York City along with the other ones. So that's the game. That's Mojo World. I think it's pretty cool. But let's move on. I have one more game to show you all today. And we're not going to maybe spend too much time on it, depending on how we feel about it. But it's an interesting alternate perspective on an X-Men kind of thing. So this is the Game Boy Color, so I just have to adjust my screens again to match. And we'll start again. Okay. So this is... Oh, okay. So we're going from 1996 to now 2000. X-Men Mutant Wars on the Game Boy Color. Developed by Avit. X-Men Mutant Wars. The battle rages on. Born as normal, quote-unquote, humans, a small percentage of teens learn as they come of age that they have special powers that make them different from their peers. They hide from a society that fears and persecutes their kind. A small group of these mutants, trained by Prof. Charles Xavier, fight evil in the hope that someday mutants and humans can live together in peace. Also, this is really loud. I'm going to turn it down, sorry. Okay, is that better? Tony says, superhuman feats, and it's the modern Marvel logo. Is this a tie-in to the movie? Well, it would be released around the same time, although the depictions in the game are all very much based on the comics or the animated series, as the characters were established there. But yes, as you say, released around it not being based on it, correct. Yeah, so developed by Avit, as well as HAL Corporation. I don't know if HAL Corporation is related to HAL Laboratory, but judging by the credits from this game, it doesn't seem to have any staff in common with anybody who worked on like Kirby or anything. But HAL Corporation are credited on Moby Games with an early Eggerland game, so maybe they are. Oh wait, there's more. It introduced us to all the characters that we would be seeing in the game, and now Professor X's longtime rival Magneto once believed that man and mutant could live in peace, but he now feels that mutants must rise against their oppressors and strike them down. The age of the genetically obsolete human is past. The future belongs to mutants and only mutants. That's what Magneto thinks. Their opposing views bring them into constant conflict, and as yet there has been no clear victor. When they last clashed, they fought to a draw. Xavier's men. That's what X-Men is, yeah. I guess so. Magneto left the fight, saying that while he could easily crush Xavier's sorry team, he had more pressing issues to attend to. And as annoying as they were, crushing the X-Men at this point was not worth his valuable time. We haven't seen him since. Okay. Oh, what is fight mode, actually? Oh, it's like just a one-on-one fight mode. Okay, that's interesting. Cool. But yeah, let's do story mode, actually. Hold on. Yes, okay. So I don't know too much about Abbott or HAL Corporation, how they're related to HAL Laboratory. But Abbott did... they didn't make too many things, to be honest. The most notable things on their list of games developed... Hold on a second. Our Cerebro computer has detected cyborgs rampaging through Canada. They have the same energy signature as Magneto's robots. Find them before they hurt any more innocent humans. That was a terrible Patrick Stewart impression. Okay. Well, let's do the game. Then I'll tell you a bit more about Abbott. So there's a little pause whenever I pick up a heart. Just get used to that. Wolverine has like a slow claw attack, but during my brief preview of the game, setting up controls and stuff, I found it much easier to just jump kick everything. Very agile and gets you a rebound and stuff. It's very powerful. But we're not here for Wolverine. We're here to see who else we can play as. By holding select, pressing select gets you back to Wolverine. But holding select and pressing a direction on the D-pad will change freely between the different X-Men that you have available. So here we have Iceman, Bobby Drake in his ice form. We can swap to... Oh, this one. Gambit. So I assume, yep, I can throw cards out in front of me like so. He doesn't have his staff that he had in Clone Wars or Mojo World, apparently. Unless aerial attack? Nope, that's just throwing more. So I can hit select right to change to Cyclops, of course, with pink hair, of course. Why not? I can shoot out little, you know, eye lasers in any direction I want, as long as it's one of 3 directions. And here's the one I really want to try. Storm, freed from the shackles of an underwater level. Let's see how she plays in a real beat-em-up game. Yeah, so this is a really cute looking game. I like the style of it on the Game Boy Color. It fits the aesthetic of the system. Characters are very big on screen, but that's fine the way they move, I think. Because you don't go so fast that you'll be like too surprised by things. Well, I just was kind of by that drone, but you don't have to dash everywhere, I guess. So yeah, it's odd. I'm not really au fait with the structure of the game as yet, having not fooled around with it too long. But it looks like it's on a single plane style beat 'em up. I don't know if this area loops, but okay. Hold on a second. There is one thing I noticed while testing this. It's not quite a single plane. Where you see a gap in the foreground, you can actually... Oh, I can aim my whirlwinds by pressing up and down, just like Cyclops. So by double tapping down where there was that little gap, you can swap to a new area. And yeah, this is as far as I got. It was getting here, going all the way to the right. Oh, I must have been in a different place. Okay, there was a key. I'm going to go find that key that I found in practice. And then I'll be... Yeah. Okay. Has the background changed? Did time just pass? So Tony is saying, apparently HAL Corp is HAL Labs. Is that so? I couldn't quite get the information on that, whether they were one and the same. Like I said, I tried to look up some of the people involved with this game to compare their credits in other games, and I didn't really... I didn't conclusively decide whether it was the same company. Oh, I forgot I could double jump. I need that heart, so I'll just grab that. Okay. Doesn't refill too much, though. So yeah, you're actually quite agile. You can dash around. Do I have a different attack when I dash? No. With Storm and I guess projectile characters, they just have their attack that works the same, like no matter what they're doing currently. Yeah, that's sort of been how some of these games work, especially Mojo World. Things were separated into melee characters and projectile characters. So you'll notice my XP bar has been drained down. I thought at first it was experience, but it's not. It's X power, I guess, is what it stands for. But I can only use my whirlwind powers, and indeed, I guess, any of the mutants' powers, while I have bar remaining in XP, and that recharges over time. Even when it's flat like it is right now, there's a little bit left there over time, which lets me do a whirlwind every now and then. But I think I probably, by changing characters, they have different health, their own health bars, I guess, and their own XP bars as well. So we can let Storm recharge a bit while we play as someone else, I guess. So yeah, I did know that Wolverine has like a flying knee attack if you're dashing an attack. Tony's saying, or maybe HAL Corp is affiliated with HAL Labs? Apparently, who knows? Yeah, that's what I came down on. I don't know. They might be related. They both spell it with all caps HAL. But yeah, I really just don't know, unfortunately. So that's all I can say about it as of right now. And yeah, by going all the way to the right here. I don't know what the key does, but whatever. Well, if it ain't Sabretooth, I thought I smelled a moron. Hang on a second. I wonder if that dialogue's different if we're playing as a different character going into this screen. Laugh while you can, runt. You'll be quiet as the grave when I get my claws on you. Working for Magneto now? Every time I think you hit rock bottom, you sink lower. I ain't working for Magneto. I'm still working with... Hey, why tell you when I can gut you? Almost got that information out of him. So let me just reverse a bit and check if I can place a different character. Storm going in here. Ah, stop hitting me with those powders. Okay, so they kind of work as extra lives in this game. When I lost Storm there, she just jumped off screen and I could play as someone else instead. Yeah, okay, it does chuck you in as Wolverine going into that screen either way, so we'll just do that. Of course, that makes sense for their confrontation. They are mortal nemeses. Ow. He's got a counter to my jump kick. Jump kicking is incredibly powerful in a lot of fighting games. And yeah, since we saw that fighting mode before, it seems like they're using that kind of mode of play for the boss fights too. So that's cool. I don't know what Wolverine's XP does. I haven't drained it at all. Can I... Oh, I got an uppercut. That's cool. Oh, I got a gem. Great. I like gems. Okay, Ugly, talk. What are you doing with Magneto's robots? You won't know nothing until it's too late. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, passwords. Great. Cerebro has detected... Patrick Stewart, engage. Cerebro has detected the cyborg's hidden base in a nearby graveyard. Stop them, my X-Men. Still bad. Still bad at the accent. Never mind. Alright, Storm, we need you. Yes, my XP has recharged, allowing me to fling whirlwinds with abandon. Cool, 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 cool. Storm's really cool when she has big hair, because it blows around in the wind. Sometimes she has shorter hair in the later movies. She even has a mohawk in Apocalypse, which is pretty rad, I'll admit. Oh, there's another path down there. Ow, quit it. Oh, already. These axes are powerful. Pow, take that. Ouch. No. I lost my health. Oh, zombies. Okay, great. Is Selene involved? Selene's in Dark Phoenix, the movie, but it's a different incarnation of the character that has different powers. In the comics, she had this kind of, yeah, she could raise the dead, and that's how they brought back a lot of characters who had died over the years as zombies, or something like it. So I got the key again. I don't know what it does. Maybe it's an Ubi key. No, this is not an Ubisoft game. Ouch, dude. Oh, those axes, so powerful. Grab it. Great. So yeah, I can actually use that to stall myself in midair. But dang, that axe has such range. Oh, if I can just be a little bit quicker. Alright, that works. So yeah, Storm's pretty powerful. Her projectiles have a lot of vertical space to them as well, which helps. Oh, dude. Axes do so much damage. You know, I think Storm was a vampire at one point. Ow. Actually, yeah, I'm better off taking the hit from that than the axe. Dang it. No! Stop! You just get so overwhelmed. No. Well, like with some beat-em-ups, you can just run through the stage. Now, we should have different enemies, yeah, in this alternate screen. But it's the same robots as before. Or zombies, I should say. And robots. Drones. Whatever they are. Yeah, Tony says it's a neat game. I think it looks really cool. It's certainly a different approach. Ooh, a star. I like it. Yeah, a different approach to what the other ones were. A bit more simple. Different style of character design. Well, what did that do? Okay. You know what? Ouch. Let's just swap to someone else to get through this level, or this screen, since Storm got so bodied by all those zombies. Run! Run, dang you! Ah! Come on, no! I hope Wolverine recharges his health. Bit hard to tell. Considering changes in health aren't always reflected in the bar, or at least they weren't with XP on Storm. Maybe the health is, because there's less ticks on a health bar, maybe. Fewer ticks. Feels like projectile characters are more powerful, especially if you're taking it slow, but I don't like taking things slow. That's fine. Uppercut! Very cool looking, but leaves me kind of vulnerable. Oh, come on. Let's just get out of here. Ow! Yeah, pretty simple, basic level design. Get to the end. Don't know what all the stars and keys are about. We don't have a Sega Retro to look up the manual of this, but I might be able to find it elsewhere. I'm not going to, though. Who the heck are you? I am Warax, and you will be my first casualty. Yeah, right. Hand over Magneto's robots. I'll only hurt you a little. Arrogant mutant! You will fall like wheat before the scythe. So you're not a mutant? Oops. Well, so much for Wolverine. Let's spam our eye lasers. Oh, okay, so he has invincibility when he's throwing his war axe. That's okay, we can just wait for... Nice. Little sweat drops when he runs off screen. There we go. Yay, I did it. Says Storm. Let me tell you a bit more about Abbott. Oh, okay, we got some more scenes. Looks like old Axe for Brains was a robot. Well, he's scrap iron now. Guess that's the end of that. Not yet. Yep, Iceman's got the same voice in this continuity. As we fought, I saw someone escape into the catacombs beneath the crypt. No one escapes with me around, Bob. I'll sniff him out. Was it Magneto? I don't think so. All I saw was a flash of blue skin. Blue skin? That could be anyone. Could be Mystique, known villain. Could be Dark Beast, who is the evil version of Beast or something. Nightcrawler has blue screen, but he's usually a good guy. Did I say blue screen? You know what I meant. Anyway, let's be Storm because why not? Storm is powerful. Pow. Yes, good hit. I also like how her projectile can just wash enemies away. Oh, okay. So falling down a pit does damage, but you sort of hop back out instantly. That's kind of cute. Yes, okay. So the game was published by Activision, but I'll tell you more about Avit. So according to catalogs of theirs I've seen, some of their works include a PlayStation game with a really silly name. Hang on, I have to read this directly because it's so silly. Ride Gear Guy Brave, which is on the level of Speed Power Gunbike for silly English style names from Japanese media. I think it's also about transforming robots, just like Speed Power Gunbike. Ride Gear Guy Brave. So Ride Gear, I think, is the name of a mechanism of some kind, and Guy Brave is like, I don't know, who cares? Oh, so here's the blue-skinned guy. The specter of pestilence will shrivel your bones. So I guess what we're dealing with are the horsemen of apocalypse, because we had War Axe, and now we have Pestilence. Not too familiar with the incarnations of these characters in the comics, because... yeah, my chief exposure to Apocalypse has been the movie Apocalypse in live action. But yeah, let's meet these guys, I guess. Not likely, bub. My bones are fortified with calcium and adamantium. I always drink my milk. Strongest substance in the world. Milk. Arg, the specter of pestilence will grind you to jelly. Bring it on, pest. Quit flapping your blue gums and show me what you got. Spam my way through boss fights. Whoa! Okay. It is good that you have so many characters to use. If one gets knocked out, the next one just comes right up to the plate. Very helpful. Oops. Well, that didn't last long. And by doing that, it's easy to just spam your way through these boss fights. Oh, so this guy's called Spectre on this screen. I told you jump kicks were the best. Cool. So yeah, apart from that PlayStation game... excuse me? What? So I guess to clear the level, you need to have found the key. That's probably it. And beat the boss, so... I've now beaten the boss, but now I have to backtrack to get the key, I guess. Dang it! Alright, who's going to be better for this scenario? Maybe Cyclops? Oh! The key was dropped by a normal drone. That's unusual for this game, in my experience so far. But hey, we're all learning every day of our lives. So, get the key, finish the level. Another robot bites the dust. Blue-skinned robot, no less. Oh wait, yeah, so these guys are all robot horsemen. Weird. Looks like we got the bomb, eh? Iceman. No, the one I saw had darker blue skin than this. Great, so there's more of them. Got any more bad news? Good news, actually. Storm found a secret door to an underground fortress and picked the lock. We're going in. Cool, didn't know that was in Storm's skill set. That's very nice. Yeah, so what else did Avit do? Another thing that caught my eye on their catalog was a pair of... Oh, okay. A pair of volleyball games on the PlayStation 1. I say a pair. I think what happened is they changed some of the assets when they ported it to a European release from its Japanese release. The Japanese version, I didn't write its name down, but it had a really silly name. It was about like sci-fi volleyball in the future where there's robots and like neon lights and stuff. It was all very cool. Cyberpunk volleyball. Which is a really weird concept that seemed interesting. And even the other release, which didn't have as much of a sci-fi theme, still had some fantastical stuff to it. So that seemed pretty interesting. You have entered the lair of the shadow of death. You will not leave alive. Bob, I know death. Seen him in my mirror. And let me tell you something. You ain't even a shadow of the shadow of death. That's good writing. Silence. Now the shadow of death falls on you. Have it your way, Half Pint. Let's see if death can die. Oh, it's so cute. The shadow of death. Oops. Oops. Oh, okay. Oh, always dodging me whirlwinds. Naughty. Oh, did I get the key yet? Nice graffiti in the background too. Shadow. So I believe that despite this being a Japanese production, being based on American comics, they actually the writing is credited. The writing of the story of the game is credited to somebody. Somebody that is not Japanese, judging by the name. I don't remember who it is now. I didn't write it down. I might look it up if I get a bit of time. Oh boy, yep. Backtracking time. Who shall we choose? I guess Storm's out. Yeah, it's not letting me pick her. Who else did we have? Iceman? What was the other one? Gambit. Yeah, let's be Gambit. Oh, mon chéri. Let's go. Now, I didn't see any alternate exits, so maybe I have to just destroy random enemies. Yeah, on levels with pits, it doesn't seem to also have those alternate exits. From what I can tell so far. Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh. Stop it, buddy. Stop it. You know what? Yes, uppercut. Much more effective. Oh, okay. So you can actually go up the ladders. Just got to tap up in the right place. I think I tried that in a previous one and it just wasn't positioned well enough, I guess. Oh, a green circle. Great. That's just what I needed. I guess all these robots are like Magneto's robot drones that we talked about in the plot. So there was another ladder earlier, I believe. Seems like every stage has two alternate paths. Again, very basic level design. Which is a little disappointing, I'll be honest. There's the key. Let's get the heck out of here. Let's give Iceman his due. Oh, okay, dudes. Okay, the ice skating, that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, what's the time? I'm running late. Yeah, we probably won't finish this game. I'll see what the next stage has to offer us. But since we're in another sewer level, yeah, let's get out of here. Oh, Storm's here. Looks like old Death kicked the bucket. Now let's kick old Buckethead. You mean Magneto? There's no sign of him anywhere in this base. That's my attempt at Halle Berry's accent from the first X-Men movie. What a coward, sending cyborg goons and robots to do his dirty work. Professor X has asked us to return to the X-Mansion. Cool, cool, cool. That's what we're doing. You have done well against Magneto's robots, but more cyborgs are on the move. We have tracked them to New York City, near the train yards, but we're detecting a very powerful energy source as well. Be careful, my X-Men. Okay, yeah. I was going to look up who was credited on writing for the game. So I'll do that real quick. But I think we might be finished here for the day. Hopefully you've had fun here with me showing you a bunch of cool different X-Men games. And Tony, I hope you're satisfied, even though I didn't play X-Men for the Mega Drive. I played its follow-up and also a related 8-bit game, which I thought was pretty cool, and I hope you thought it was cool too. Loading websites. Story by Daniel Greenberg. I knew it. A lot of other names there are Japanese names, of course, being associated with Hal and Abbott. Oh, one more thing I want to tell you about this is that Abbott and Hal, according to Game Developer Research Institute, Abbott created this game under subcontract from HAL. And along with this, those two companies are also listed on another Game Boy Color Marvel game based on Blade. I think it's a tie-in to the Wesley Snipes movie. And yeah, that's interesting because it's very similar to this in style and how it looks to be set up. it could be, you know, a direct sequel to this in how it looks. So that's cool. Oh wow, Daniel Greenberg later became the J.R. Tolkien franchise creative director before EA got their hands on the franchise, it looks like, because he's credited on the Hobbit game, the Fellowship of the Ring game. That's pretty interesting. As well as some Star Trek games, a Jumanji game. Okay, interesting stuff. I wonder if he's done any comics before this or after. He's an author. He's British? Maybe this is the wrong guy. Yeah, it's the wrong guy. Never mind. All right, I think we're done. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, this has just been a little exploration of some of the other X-Men games that exist outside the movie universe. There's a lot of them. So I picked a few that looked interesting to me for various reasons, mostly the playable characters. Like I said last week, one of the things I value about the X-Men series is the diversity of the cast and the kind of social allegories that happen with the way mutants are treated in various media. I think that's pretty interesting stuff. So yeah. Also, there's a lot of weird, crazy sci-fi nonsense, which is mostly what you see in these kinds of action video games. Of course, there's role-playing video games in this series as well. But yeah, that's been some X-Men games. Let's just get through this boss fight, because I'm sure this is going to be Mystique because of the dark blue thing. Now it's Cyclops, so... Oh no, we're talking to Cyclops, are we? Okay, those cyborg goons were shipping a Sentinel, a mutant-killing Sentinel. I'll rip that robot to shreds. Wolverine, be careful. His blasts are deadly. He's got to hit me first. Avoid his hands. Only his face is vulnerable to attack. Then I'll be sure to give him a real close shave. Okay, big background Sentinel. This is a classic video game trope. Giant head in the background, hands coming in to attack. Love it. Yes, very familiar to any video game player. The final boss of Wario Land 3 is just like this. Wow, Wolverine got instantly killed by these hands. Sentinels are a bigger threat than I thought. They really are a menace to mutants. I haven't been too menaced by them in some of these video games, I gotta say. But, well, Gambit's not having too much trouble. Sentinel down. Oh, nice extra sprite for the Sentinel there. But yeah, we can't finish this because we haven't got the key. But I'm done for today. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, that finishes my X-Men coverage on the streams. Yeah, hope you had a good time with them. There's a lot more X-Men games out there, but I really don't know which ones are good. I just picked them based on other criteria. So until next time, I'm going to be playing shooters next week, maybe with some extra streams outside of the usual time as well. So hope to see you there, and until then, stay safe and be kind to each other. Goodbye.